Welcome back to another episode of Across the Bifrost. This is part 2 of our Secures review episode from the War Kings pack and all the other things, the current scenarios basically that are going out there now. You are listening to Dr. Norbert, coming to you live from a very secure location, I should say. And I'm happy to be here. And who are you?
You sound like you're locked up again.
That's okay.
Jamie. I'm Jamie. I'm coming to you from the Danger Room. We're going to talk about Secures, and any X-Men player knows that you have to spend, the first 3 months of playing X-Men in the Danger Room, locked away, to figure out all the shenanigans you can do with To Me My X-Men and other things. So yes, hello.
Hello. So this is part 2. If you listen to part 1 is about the more attrition-focused secures. This is part 2, which is about the more scenario-focused secures. What
does that mean?
Well, basically that you're not trying to fight necessarily only, or like that's not your main goal, or let's say the secures don't kind of encourage you to just be fighting with one another. It is trying to get you to move around the table from one secure to the next.
There you go. Nice. Cool.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I passed the exam. Did I pass the audition?
Yeah. You're allowed to. You got your place at the Xavier School for the Gifted. Well done.
So we have quite a few of them here. It turns out to be a lot more of the scenario-based crises in the pack, but some of them are double up on the same shapes. So we will talk about those together. So should we get started?
Yeah.
All right, let's go with the classic D shape. The D shape, follow along in Jarvis's protocol. If you look at the secures in the crisis section, you can see all the letters that we're using, even though they're not officially used by AMG any longer. We still use them in Jarvis's protocol to kind of help make sure everybody knows what each map is. So the D map is the classic, though. It is a diamond shape, so there'll be 1 point in the middle right by your side of the table, or close to your side of the table, and of course then one across from you that's very far away, but closer to your opponent. And then there's on the midline 2 points, one on the left side and one on the right side. The D is the classic one where the ones on the midline are just 6 inches or range 3 from either edge, so very far apart basically. And also the home secure, so the one closest to you on the midline north to south, is range 5, which is 10 inches up the board. So interestingly, D shapes are well known. This is more important for extracts, but are well known that if you are a large base model on the deployment line, you are already interacting with that secure.
You stole for. I was about to say, let's jump to Jamie's measurement corner and tell you a cool little fun fact. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, was that the only one? But there's others. How about moving from one to the next?
Oh, good point. Okay.
Yeah, those are very good.
Yeah, true. Okay,
very
fine.
Important.
So this is a diamond shape, right? And I often see new players, because they don't want to get beat up too much, they will place their characters kind of back a bit or like on the outside of the diamond, so they think they're like more safer there. Yeah. But it means your influence on the adjacent points is much lowered basically.
Yep.
Long story short, without getting into the super detail, you want to always have your characters placed on the inside of the diamond. So, closer to the other points. Small bases on the inside of one point here can move twice to the other one. Super important. Medium base, movers can be a little bit further back, but I'm not going to get into detail. Basically, long story short, place your characters on the inside of the diamond if you want to be able to influence the other points. And it is very hard to get between the 2 side points. You can't double move normally there unless you're like a long mover or you've got other shenanigans, which again, we're not going to get into. And also your home D point is usually a heavy, bold, underlined word, usually there, safe, round 1. There aren't many things that can get there, but there are things that can get there. And I'm not going to go into them now, but there are tricks people can do to get a character onto your home D. Most of the time people don't do that because it's a bit dangerous, because you can just, beat them up. But yeah, just be aware of that.
Yeah. And by influence, the other secure, I think what you mean is that you can use one action to move that gets you into interact range with the other one, and that still gives you another action to do something else. Yeah?
Not quite. No. If you're on a side point, well, if you're on any point, a small base medium move has to move twice to get to the other one.
Okay, it does.
Even your Namor and your Angela and your Amazing Spider-Man, they can't make that in one move. They have other tricks of getting around though. Like Namor can move from one D point to the other D point and hit someone on that D point, and then he gets an advance after he attacks to get onto the point. So there are tricks which we're not going to go into, but yeah, basically. If I'm playing a newer player and I can see that they've placed their character, outside of the diamond shape, I know that character most of the time can't possibly interact with the other one adjacent to him. So I can sort of play around that. So it's these like nuances which I had to learn, when I first started playing X-Men, actually, because they used to run around D maps quite a lot back then. You can basically, when you're playing a new player, they won't even realize that they've completely sort of, given you a point for free because they've placed their characters in the wrong place, so they can't double move to that point.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, what I learned from playing Lady Thor is a small base model with a range 3 attack. If you put them exactly between 2 points, their range 3 attack can generally hit either point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think you have to be outside of the points, as the target to avoid that from happening. So keep that in mind that is possible. Of course, then Lady Jane in this case is not going to be scoring anything, but maybe an attrition team isn't so concerned about that. So
I'm going to check that as we speak on my MCP board in front of me.
All right. Yeah, good. Meanwhile, you're doing that. I will read one of the first Ds. We have two of them in the game.
I think you're wrong, by the way, but carry on.
Oh, somebody was doing it to me. It was terrible. A
small base in between 2D shape. D secures cannot be in. No, they're not within range 3 of them.
What? No, if the target is trying to interact with the inside of either one of those secures?
Maybe if they're placed on the inside. Yeah, if they're placed like close to Jane. Okay, fine. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't saying we're talking about trying to be inside the triangle, so that's
true. Yeah, good point.
Okay, but yes, it is not automatic, but it is likely. Let's put it that way. Okay, so the first one is called Cosmic Invasion. Black Order descends on Earth. Now, this is a D shape, as we were talking about. Each of the points is worth 1. And then also during the power phase, the cosmic vaults will radiate cosmic energy. So starting with the player with priority, you roll 1 die at each character they control within 1 of the cosmic vault. And then the result is a crit or wild. That character gains 2 power and is pushed short. And of course, your opponent resolves the push. This is only 16 threat as well. So do you see this being a very popular one for scenario-based affiliations?
So this has famously been one of the least popular crisis in the game. I think I know why, but hear me out. I see 16 threat, and I think attrition teams go, "Oh, great, 16 threat. I like low threat." And that is now the lowest threat in the game. So I'm going to take this because, it'll be less people for me to kill, so I can just dominate my opponent. And then they see, 2 power. Cool, I get 2 power. But you get pushed. So an attrition team, they might get pushed away from everyone, and they then have to, spend power or movement getting back in to hit people. Whereas a character like Nightcrawler or Magic or any of the Spider-Men that have web swing, if they get pushed away from everything, they've been given 2 power to then spend that to come back to where they were. So I think actually the effect, while the threat isn't great for crisis teams, the effect is pretty good for crisis teams, especially ones that favor mobility. I think that's why we don't see it too often, because crisis teams would love the effect because they're not that affected by it, not as much as most teams, but 16 threat isn't very much high for them. So it's a weird kind of like where Wedding Party was like kind of good for both teams. This feels like kind of maybe bad for both teams. I don't know. It's like almost like the opposite. It's like a good effect or bad threat. Yeah, it's interesting, but I don't hate this one. I quite enjoy it. I like if there's a negative effect to the crisis, at least you get power for it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
The problem is if it pushes the wrong character, like if it pushes a Dracula, out of relevance, him having 2 power isn't really going to help him come back in. He's still going to spend it. So, it just cripples some characters. So I think that's why not many people play it.
Yeah. Right. Because it's a wide scenario to begin with, and then you're getting pushed potentially even further away from each other targets. So, but on the other hand, if you got a charge or if you got some sort of small move placement or a place of some kind, things like that, then this isn't so bad.
Yeah, true. Like a Shang-Chi or a Wolverine don't care because they're pushed away and they gain 2 power. They then spend that 2 power to charge back to where they were. So they actually don't care. That then comes into the fact that it's a D shape, which is the most spread out shape in the
Correct.
game. It's the furthest away anyone can get from each other, basically. So that's why Crisis teams love this shape, because they can run away with stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. I can see a world where, like, if Web Warriors start getting punchy, maybe they like this because they can run away, but also, you know, the 16th threat, maybe they don't mind having a bit of a fight. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, how about X-Men? Your beloved X-Men.
Yeah, I mean, I did say they were punchy Web Warriors. It's fine. They just don't have many like web swing characters, right? Maybe an X-Men that takes Nightcrawler and Magic. You know, if they take them both, that's kind of cool. Maybe, I don't know. It's the effect is just a bit crippling, right? It can be it can lose you the game, because if you need that character to stay where they are and you roll a crit or a wild as well, is quite unlikely. So you can't even sort of predict that it's going to happen. And if they get pushed the wrong way or pushed into irrelevance, it's going to be quite crippling. So. Yeah,
Steve won all charging. All charging. Kind of a roster would like this one. Though.
True. Yeah.
And you know, Web Warriors loves it because they have the web swings of various stripes that they can get back onto the points. Yeah. You know? So people like Avengers Assemble as well can use that card to get back onto the points. Because I learned, what is it? Push short. Oh, it's push short. So if you get move shorts too. But I learned that if you get placed within 2, it is not as far as the short stick. So like, for instance, I tried to use Loki 2 to put people back on points, but he can portal people 2, range 2, but that's not enough. Short is further than the range 2, sadly.
Yeah. I've got a hilarious take. Heimdall can reroll dice rolled by crisis effects. So if you really don't want someone to get pushed and they roll a crit, Heimdall can pay 2 and they can have another go at it. It's kind of fun.
Oh wait, can you in the power phase though? That works.
Yeah, it says.
You sure not?
I'm reading Heimdall. All-seeing eyes. When an allied character within 4 rolls dice for a crisis card or team tactics card, you may re-roll 2 of the dice, but you're only rolling 1 dice, right? Yeah, so you just re-roll it once, and it's quite an unlikely trigger. So there's a good chance that will stop you getting pushed. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, good old Heimdall poking his head up.
Yeah,
above the parapet. Anything else about this one? The peculiarities of it.
Yeah, I think the more I talk about it, the more I think this is actually a Web Warriors card. I mean, 16 threat is low, but at least they have, you know, all the best 3 threats in the game, so they can still go pretty wide. And D shapes are just so powerful. For crisis teams.
All right, let's move on to the next D shape, which is a core box crisis. It is Riot Spark over Extremis 3.0. Hey. Was it 2.0 in the first box, and did it get turned into 3.0?
No, Extremis 3.0 is like a Marvel story reference.
Okay.
It was an app.
Okay, sure. Okay, so again, a D shape. Each point is worth 1, but this is much more simple interaction. If you interact with it, you can remove 1 damage from a non-dazed character within 2 of the Extremis console. And keep in mind, that means you could interact with one of them, and then you can move on to another one and interact with that one and heal somebody else, including yourself.
There you go. You know what this is, by the way? These are little phones that if you tap on them, you download the Extremis virus into your body, which gives you the perfect body.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
A virus?
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay. So this one is a very popular criminal syndicate one with Kingpin. First of all, because it's not a pay to flip, but also because they want to just stand on points and hold on for their dear lives. Yeah. So being able to heal off of the point that you're actually holding sounds like a double win-win to me.
Yes, big time. I played this a ton when I was playing Hellfire Club.
Oh, yeah.
This was like Hellfire a slam dunk crisis. I was already ahead when this card got pulled playing Hellfire Club, because their whole job is to grab the points and then survive. And they take healing factor characters. So I'll have like a lizard on one of the side points with an extract. You've beaten him up a lot. And then he'll interact with 1 point, double move to the other point next to him, because I remember to place him inside the diamond, and then interact with that point and then healing factor. So he's healed 3.
Yeah,
which is crazy. So yeah, if your game plan is to hold points and survive, this is the card for you. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a staple for that kind of game plan, which is actually a pretty popular one in many respects.
Yeah, and it's 17 threat, which is the most popular threat. It's just fine and fair, nice down the middle.
Yeah. So not much more to say about it because it is a staple. But yeah, think about the type of characters. Basically, you want to be able to hold on, secures. And that means if you're a fighting team, you don't want this one to be popped up because it kind of goes against what you're trying to do, which is whittle people down till they're dazed or KO'd.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, of course, we said it in part 1, but you can interact with as many secures as you want in one turn, just once per secure. But it means that on this, you can pay 1 on a secure, heal 1, and then move to another one, pay on that one and heal that one as well. You can also heal other people, not just yourself.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll have a character that's covered in power and has no damage on them. They can go around healing people. I sometimes get Toad to do that for me because Toad's often out of trouble. And the biggest thing with playing this is just trying to remember that you can do it. Most games, people just forget you can do that. And they'll kind of move away from secure, and then they're asking you if they can retroactively interact with that secure. So just try and remember.
Yeah, that's true. Any tricky characters that could interact with all three? I'm thinking like Zemo with his spender. Could he like move to one, move to charge to another, and then spender move to the third one?
Yeah, because that's a double medium move, right? So he can move while attacking people, which is pretty good. Not a third one, though, because he's only moving medium.
Well,
Namor, maybe. Yeah, Namor probably could, because I think you can be on one, you can interact with it, you can then charge, attack someone else, get your move after the attack, interact with that one. No, you'd have to charge again. So no, I don't think you can.
Yeah, it'd have to be some way where after the attack grants you extra movement of some kind, or like if you're Juggernaut, can Juggernaut do it with his power
Juggernaut
slide?
can do anything. Juggernaut can go anywhere he wants. Yeah, nothing stops Juggernaut. So that'll do it. Also, I guess web swingers can do it, right? Miles with a bunch of power could interact, double move, interact. Nope, he still can't. Web swing to get... No, I don't think he can. Let's just say Juggernaut. Juggernaut can.
Well, that's a challenge for everybody on the Discord then. We'd like to, the Patreons and everybody else come onto the Discord and let us know if you found a way to get 3 interacts in some fashion with your character.
On riots, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun to know that. Okay, let's move on to a very similar shape called P. P as in Peter. It is deadline to destruction. So it is again a diamond, same orientation. The big difference here is that the north-south ones are placed exactly the same with the D shape, but the east-west ones are now much closer together. So the diamond overall is much closer. These are 5 in from the edges instead of just 3 in. So this one in particular is each of those points scores 1 VP. If you interact with them, you can choose an enemy character within 3 of the one you've interacted with who is holding an extract token. That target can either drop the token, or if it holds on to it, it has to suffer a damage and gain a power. This is 16th threat, but is wildly popular, I would say.
Yeah, I think. So this was the one that I was adamant was going to be the new attrition crisis when we first reviewed War of Kings, and I think I'm wrong. It's definitely good for attrition because you're pinging out extra bits of damage, and it's hard to hold on to an extract with, say, a Toad, who's only got 4 health. He's going to start taking pings from this. So it definitely helps attrition, but it plays like a DMAP because you're still, even though it's closer than a DMAP, you're still having to double move with most characters. This is where the Namor thing does start working. So the medium-based long move, he can get in between these without needing to attack people. So that's cool. It plays like a D. The effect is quite attrition-y. It's actually quite a fair and nice crisis. I've played on it with X-Men into really attrition-y teams and actually been quite happy with it because I can still run away a little bit. So yeah, it's nice.
So you're saying that it has some aspects that are favorable to attrition teams, but it has other aspects that are favorable to scenario teams.
Yeah, big time.
And would you say then, the game right now, it feels very mid-liney, like mid teams that kind of don't specialize in either of those 2 extremes. Do you feel that then they excel on this because of the fact that it's combination?
I'd say so, yeah. Because if you're bringing a team that specializes in, just midline fighting, they don't want to move around too much, then they're not going to be able to keep up. With your web swingers and your limbo steppers, they're going to be able to get away. So you need, like you say, you need some movement shenanigans along with your killing for this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's why we've seen a massive rise in M'Baku-led Wakanda recently.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're an extremely mobile attrition team. They've got good quality dice because leadership. They have King T'Challa. People take Red Skull, Master of Hydra, who has like a couple, movement. He has a movement on his attack if he gets the trigger. So yeah, movement-based attrition teams seem to be doing really well right now. We're seeing Apocalypse is doing really well, for the same reason. So I think you're right. Yeah, that's the kind of mid-tier teams that are shining at the moment, and it's crises like this that really enable them.
Yeah. On the other hand, if you have a scenario that has a lot of extracts in it, then this is also a good one if you're more an attrition-focused team, because then your opponent is going to be picking up all those extracts, but you should be able to be pinging them for damage along the way.
Yeah, I had a fun game the other day with Weapon X on this. I love Weapon X on Deadline to Destruction, by the way, because Weapon X, the character, can actually interact with these and ping off some damage. But I had, because I go super wide with Weapon X, I take like 6 or 7 characters if I can, a bunch of 2 threats. I had a toad in the middle of the table holding an extract, and I got to interact with a secure 3 times before I hit him. Because obviously if you hit him and you don't kill him, he slipperies away. So I sent 3 people up to interact with the secure he was near, pinged him for 3 damage, and then just sent someone in to shoot him. I only had to deal one. That was really fun. I was like, that's a cool, interesting way of dealing with Toad. So, yeah, there's some fun stuff that this lets you do. And also, the power the damage that you take gives you a power. So there's also some counterplay to it, right? If you're taking a lot of ping damage from this, you're not completely punished by it. You're going to be powered up. And you also have the choice to drop the extract, which I really like offering to my opponent. Every time I interact with them, I'm like, if you want, you can just drop the extract. And they're like, no, I'll take the damage, thanks. Yeah. But that's kind of cool.
I've dropped it in the past when I really need to keep the character alive for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's not an automatic no.
Yeah.
So, cool. Right, we're going to move right along to the other popular shape that's not quite as wide, but is very familiar to people. It's the bees and boys shape. And the first one is from the core box. It's called Infinity Formula Goes Missing.
Classic. Everyone's favorite starter set.
Well, X-Men like this one a lot. Beast likes this one a lot.
Oh, no, you're thinking Mutant Madmen.
No, I'm thinking this one because isn't the Beast Mutant Madman? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay, we'll come on to that one. Yeah. Okay, so what is this one? So this is a square shape, basically, and there's a few square shapes in the game, so you have to bear with us as we try to describe these. This is the classic one. This is the one that is furthest apart, the B shape. It is got 2 secures on your left, so one right closer to you, one further away from you, and then the same thing on the right hand side. And they are only range 4 in from the edges on the left and right sides, so quite far apart from one another. This one, as you alluded to, is not a pay to flip. It's a normal type. Each is worth 1 VP. But if you contest it, you gain a power. So you get lots of power for sitting on these points. But let's talk about some classic tactics on the B shape. I feel like one of them is if you have a range 4 attacker, you could sit on the inside of your secure and be able to shoot people on the one opposite of you. Yeah?
Yeah.
The other big thing about this one is that it tends to make the game turn into 2 battles, essentially. So you're on
2 sides,
2 halves. Yeah. So you have to either be happy that you can actually fight both of those sides. Your characters can hold their own without helping each other, because the ones that you cluster on the left side won't be able to typically help the right one. Or you have characters that specifically designed to rotate, so they're able to actually pivot from one side to the next, which is ideal. Like if they can fight on one side, take care of that, neuter that side, and then pivot to the other side, then you're really doing well.
Yeah, for sure. This is a big thing to practice, I'd say. Once you've gotten to grips with MCP in general, I'd say a good place to start is this secure, because it teaches you about threat distribution. Some people will completely collapse one side and they'll put loads of high threat models or just more models on one side, and they hope to win that side quickly and then move over to the other side and win that one. And some teams will just have a fair fight on both flanks. It's also interesting if it's paired with an extract where there is a middle extract. Let's say I'm playing X-Men and I've brought Infinity Formula, you've brought an extract that puts one in the middle, and I have priority. I've got a safe grab, so I can basically grab that extract in the middle without standing in the middle when I'm done with it. And then I can choose which side I take that extract to. So Norbert, if you put all of your team on one side, I can just take that middle extract to the other side and be like, well, now I'm up on points and all your team's over there. So you need to figure out how to deal with that. So it can be you can sort of lose the game round one quite easily by getting that wrong. So it's important to remember, these are two separate fights and you need to deploy your team kind of ready for that.
Yeah, it's sometimes tempting to try to focus a lot of your characters on one side, and you do take it. But if they can pivot away from you, you're then stuck on that one side, and it could be completely crippling. You'll be caught out. All of a sudden, you're doing well, and then all of a sudden, you're out of the fight, basically, and wasting actions just moving to the other side, which can usually swing the game for your opponent. So be very careful about how much you commit to any one side, but don't undercommit either, unless that's intentional.
Yeah, I'd say if in doubt, just deploy fairly. Split your team in half and just put them on two sides. I tend to say I'll have a back point sitter on each one. So I'll have a storm on one side and a domino on the other side. They're going to stand at the back and just shoot into the fight. And then I'll have an X-23 and Wolverine who are going to jump the back point later. So you kind of have two mini squads, on the table. If in doubt, just deploy evenly like that and, you'll probably be fine. But yeah, you'll start to see eventually it could be quite smart to, try and collapse aside. And people bring fast movers for that reason. So Namor is very popular on B maps, Rhino as well, and Juggernaut, because they can, once you've, won a side, or if it's going badly even, they can switch to the other side. Because small base medium movers, they can't move between the sides in one turn. So they'll be stuck in no man's land for a round, which is really bad.
Right. The reason I mentioned Beast before, the other classic thing, aside from the point sitters with long range, like you mentioned, characters that have medium move and medium bases are able to move from their deployment zone all the way over to interact with the opponent's B shape if they're directly across from them.
Yeah.
And that's a classic move for Lizard, Beast, who else? Anybody like that?
Any medium base, medium mover, basically. Yeah, it's usually Lizard and Beast because they're quite tanky. Because you send them in, and the opposing team is in front of them, about to hit them, so they can take it a little bit. So yeah, bear that in mind. Especially, we haven't got to extracts yet, but there's a lot of extracts that can be grabbed like that as well. And a character like Lizard is dying to steal your extracts from underneath you because he can take the beating you're about to give him. So yeah, that's a good point.
I got schooled in Malmo recently where Lizard dove. So that's diving. You hear the term diving, that means that the character moves inordinately far to your side of the table for some reason. So this guy, unfortunately, it was a double B shape. So the extracts and the skewers were both Bs. And so and he was playing Guardians. He dove Lizard to my secure, picked up the extract, and he had two of the wing in it tokens, or a wing in it token. And so he's tanky as it is, and then had wing in it on top of it, and now he's scoring 2 points because he's got the extract and the secure. And it's like, oh lordy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I do the same with Beast because I have Xavier's Dream. So if you're, it takes a lot to take Beast down anyway, and then if you're about to, I can just play Xavier's Dream, and he's alive on your secure. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But medium base, medium movers are also good on this because they can jump between the 2 points in one move. So once they're on one, as long as they're inside the kind of two secures, they can just take one move to get to the other one.
So you could get Beast to throw somebody off of the point he's sitting at, and then move on to the other one and contest that one potentially.
Yeah, it's pretty great, and small base long movers can do the same. Very, very cool. There is a trick I want to mention with Infinity Formula.
That one trick.
There's another trick. So there. If you have a sneaky way of getting your character a bit further up after deployment, like cat and mouse in X-Force, you can, so it gives out power in the power phase, and there is a power phase at the very start of the game before anyone's ever gone. So if you cat and mouse a character up, they will start on that Infinity Formula and they will get a power from that, which is pretty cool. And it turns things on, like you can do it with Archangel, and then you can battle bound round one with Psylocke, which I won't go into now, but that's really cool if you like those characters. You should go read those cards and figure out how to do it. But yeah, so if you have a sneaky way of getting onto a secure before the game starts, you do get that bonus power.
Cool. All right. The other B shape map is pay to flip. So absolutely the same shape, but it is pay to flip. And it's called Mutant Madmen Turn City into Lethal Amusement Park. This is 18 threat. Each point is worth 1. You have to roll your physical defense and get a crit wild or a hit to get it to flip and you have to have more successes than enemy healthy characters on that place. Also, during the cleanup phase, each player controlling a trap chooses an enemy character within the trap they control, and then that character suffers a damage and gains a power. So yeah, this changes it quite dynamically, and this is one of the favorite for X-Men because we're talking about Beast. Beast got high physical defense, and he can dive to the back point and flip it.
Yeah, exactly. And they have first class, so they're really good at pay to flips. So yeah, this is my favorite secure in the whole game. Sure. Probably just because I've played it more than anyone else, and because I play a stupid amount of X-Men. And yeah, like you say, Beast is great on it. Anyone with a good physical defense is really good on it. This is actually not bad for attrition teams as well. So we talked about collapsing aside on Infinity Formula on the B map. So this is interesting because you benefit a little bit more from collapsing on a side. If your attrition goes well and you KO all the models on one side, you can flip those points to be yours and then leave them and go to the other side, which is really cool. So you don't have to leave models behind. You can then put all your threat into the other side to go and kill them. So that's great. So you're more incentivized here, I think, to collapse a side. This is a bit more, it's okay to do that.
That's a great observation. I love that point. Yeah, which is in stark contrast, despite it being so similar to the Infinity Formula one. Exactly. It really can be quite a different story. Love it. Cool.
There you go.
Anything else on this one?
I'm trying to find the name of the blog. There is, someone will link this in the Discord seconds after this episode goes out, but there is a MCP X-Men First Class blog. And basically,
isn't it Vodka Blitz's one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't find it now, but there'll be a link in the Discord.
First Class?
First Class, yeah. I'm trying to find the website. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So basically, this is how I learned all of the X-Men measurement shenanigans. He has a website that's basically completely dedicated to all the tricks you can do with X-Men, with pay to flips and things like that. Because Beast can do some crazy stuff on Mutant Madmen round 1 because he gets first class, and if you move to your home secure, try and flip it. You roll the dice. You might get a skull, which he gets a power for. Then you move again and you try and flip their one, and again you might get a skull. If you get a power, you can then throw one of them, a size 2 character, off the point. So he just achieves an amazing amount of stuff. There it is, mcpfirstclass.blogspot.com.
Thank you.
Highly recommend that blog. It's how I learn everything on X-Men.
Good old Vodka Blitz. Thank you. Writing those. Okay, cool. We are moving into the G map. G as in gravy. Who doesn't like gravy?
Nice.
This is the one that everyone thinks they're good at. It is called Mcron. Crystal gets heroes home. 19 threat, so lots of threat. It is a box shape again, so 4 points in a box, but much, much, much closer together. So this is, instead of, what is the other one? 4 together from the sides? Hang on. Yep, 4 from the sides. This one is only, this is 5 and 2 from the sides. So very close together. This is also a pay to flip, but it's the more forgiving kind. So this is where, in a sense, it's more forgiving. You pay for it, and if no enemies are contesting it, you just control the point. Otherwise, you have to, if it is being contested by an opponent, you roll 1 die, and if you get a crit, wild, or hit, which is essentially 50% chance, you then own it. So it doesn't matter how many of the enemies on there, you just get a 50-50 chance of owning it. Also, during the power phase, each character holding 1 or more objective tokens that is contesting a crystal secure point gains an extra power. Which is something I tend to forget a lot of, unfortunately.
Me too.
So yeah, why does everybody think they're good on this one, Jamie?
I think it is the less offensive pay to flip, because everybody rolls the same amount of dice. You're not relying on having good physical defense. It's a 50-50 flip because it's a crit hit wild, which is a coin flip every time you try and flip a point from underneath someone. And also it has everyone's favorite thing, which I'm so surprised AMG haven't done to every pay to flip, which is if no one's contesting and you interact with it, it's yours. And I love pay to flips, and I love when my opponents fail their rolls, but even I think that should be a thing by default. AMG, if you're listening, please just do it. Come on now. No one wants to roll dice on an empty pay to flip. But yeah, so I think that's why everyone is sort of okay with this. Is also the shape is quite tight, so it's good for attrition teams. points, and it's 19 threat, so that's good for Crisis team. So yeah, they've managed to make a card that probably makes everyone happy because there isn't anything to feel bad in this.
So can we do the opposite of what the internet podcasting universe is doing? Instead of saying everybody thinks they're good on it, who is actually good on it, Jamie? Let's just
X-Men are good on it, obviously. It's a pay to flip. Mobile teams are good on it because you basically want to activate last so that your opponents, all their models have moved, and then you want characters that can run around and flip these, as many as possible. So characters like Nightcrawler, Namor, Rhino, characters that are fast and get around really easily are fantastic on this because they can just wait till the end of the round and then just go flip. And let's say they successfully flip 3 points, that's a 6-point swing. It's game winning. It's completely game winning. So what I like to do with X-Men is basically just like load up all the bases with just characters that can run around and then just be like, okay, you can't kill all of them. Well, maybe you can. They're X-Men. They die quite easily. But just hope that your opponent can't kill all of them and then activate at the end and just try and flip a bunch of points. And that's often how that goes. So yeah, any teams that have lots of power, lots of movement. So like Spider Foes love it. You liked this on Asgard, right?
Oh, it did very much so. Yeah, because they have power to do the flips. They also have a lot of charges or placement effects so they can get around. Definitely like this one.
What I like about Asgard on this as well is they're doing their job while also playing the Crisis because they're charging, right? Asgard want to be making attacks, so you could just charge in, make an attack, and just I'm just gonna flip that point while I'm here, and I'm gonna go charge over here and kill that guy and try and flip that point. So yeah, lots of mobileness is what you need for this.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you play against a scenario team like Web Warriors, the question is can you daze them faster than they can bounce around and flip them back again? Essentially,
yes, it becomes a game of whack-a-mole.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Who else is good on this? Let me quickly look at the roster list. See if we get any kind of Sentinels. Yeah,
Sentinels are not good on this. They hate moving. Sentinels do not want to use move actions.
What about shooting teams? Do shooting teams like this Crisis?
I could see them, because it's quite close. They can influence, the other points. Shield probably don't mind it. You do need someone to run around. So like Shield, maybe they're taking Spectacular Spider-Man and Namor, and then the rest of them just have guns and they're standing still. That's kind of cool. It's different to the other page flips in that if you are injured, you still count as being on the point. So that's cool, especially for shooty teams because they could just stand in place and just shoot from where they are, and they're still making it harder for your opponent to flip the point. So yeah, displacement teams are good too because this pay to flip, you get it for free without having to roll. You just pay a power and it's yours. It says no one stood on it. So webs, who'd have guessed it? Webs are good on this too because you can just displace the character and then get it. Guaranteed, which is pretty cool. So yeah, lots of movement. This isn't a stand still and fight Crisis, that's for sure.
Yes, that's true. So Avengers again, the oops all charging. Avengers will love it.
What's this oops all charging thing you're saying? Is this...
Oh, it's the thing. It's just where you can. Avengers have a remarkable number of charging characters, or ones that have charges that come online because of the leadership, and then you could also slot in a couple of splashes that had the same kind of dynamic, and so you could get almost all of them to be charging.
There you go. Yeah, not bad. It's nice to see a pay to flip, by the way, that people like. People hated playing X-Men all the time because they'd be like, oh, I'm going to be stuck on bloody pay to flips. But now this one seems to be quite inclusive, which again, AMG, if you're listening, there's a few things I think to learn here. Yeah, this is a good card. People like it, and it's a pay to flip. And I didn't think I'd ever see the day where people were happy with the pay to flip. So yeah, let's learn from this Crisis and apply it to the other ones.
Can you get Longshanks to cross-reference affiliations success against a Crisis? Is there
I think you can. I can't, but I think you can. I think the system allows, yeah.
That'd be amazing to see, finally put to rest who's actually good on MCon.
Yeah, because so here's the whole thing, right? Now, I know even AMG were thinking about banning First Class a long time ago. A long time ago, and they ended up not doing that. And a lot of people call for First Class to be banned. I don't think First Class is that big a deal. And I genuinely, and I think actually Vodka Blitz might agree, if you're listening, let us know, that the reason X-Men do so well on page flips is because no one else plays to flips. You know what I'm saying? God. No one else plays pay to flips. And I think that they're actually fine for like probably half the affiliations are probably fine on pay to flips, but people don't like playing them. So yeah, leave First Class alone, play pay to flips, and you'll be fine.
Okay. All right, cool. So if anybody could do that cross-reference, or maybe convince Sam to do it for us, that would be amazing. I want to really know, finally, who's good on Mcron. Okay, we are moving on to another shape. Hooray!
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're on two left. We have an M shape and an F shape. So the M shape is Guardians, Save, Shi'ar, Empress in style. Oh, nice. This is another square. That's why we kind of grouped it together. This one, I think, is in between the two. So Mcron has, from the east and west sides, the distance is 5 + 2, whereas on Guardians, it is 4 + 2. And as a reminder, the B shapes are just 4. So you're going. So this jump between Mcron and Guardians is not quite as large as going to Bs, but still. So in the middle. So basically, it's meet in the middle type of shape. Each of the 4 points scores you 1 VP, but it's a pay to flip, and it's another one of the weird pay to flips. This is one where you roll 3 dice. If the roll contains more crits, wilds, or hits than the number of healthy characters, enemy characters on the point, then you can control it. If, however, you are holding one or more extract tokens, you can re-roll one of those dice. So the weird thing about this is it doesn't, like, mostly you rely on one of your defenses, either physical or energy, to determine how many dice you roll to flip it. Here, you're rolling a flat 3 no matter what, and potentially get a reroll. Unless you're Heimdall, you can get another reroll. Yay, Heimdall!
So much Heimdall love.
Yeah, he's going to be the new meta monster. You heard it on
That's a good point.
Bifrost.
If you don't like pay to flips, take Heimdall. He helps.
And who is it?
Panther?
Black Panther 3 does it. Yeah, Black Panther 3 does it.
And I think the New Mutants have a tactics card.
Oh,
where if you roll a pay to flip and
kids.
don't get a crit, you can re-roll a lot, which is fine.
That's fine. Okay, so gosh, is there much to say about this one comparative to Mcron? Really?
I mean, I take this instead of Mcron because I'm that scared of a fight. Put it that way. This is a nice spread out crisis. It feels a bit like a D map at times because it's quite spread out.
Yeah.
But it's not like, you're not going to run away too easily. If you're playing as Midnight Suns, they're still going to bump and kill you. So yeah, it's nice. I like that it's just roll 3 dice because you're not punished for bringing the wrong defensive stats. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, it's nice. And having a reroll for having an extract is a really nice mechanic that I never remember to do, but it's cool.
Yeah. I think it's the same with Mcron. Both of the second clauses are forgotten. Although this one's a little better because it's the second clause takes place at the same time as you're doing the interact, so it's maybe a little easier.
True. Yeah, easier to remember. Yeah.
Whereas the Mcron one, it happens in a different phase, and by that time you've already moved on in your thinking, and so it's hard to remember.
Yeah,
it seems
true.
To be anyway.
And you need to roll more than healthy characters, which is nice because it's a nice helping hand to attrition teams. Because at least dazing someone means something because they're easier to flip past. The only thing it's missing is being able to just not roll dice when it's open, when the secure is open. But apart from that, it would be the perfect crisis.
I'm so glad that you mentioned about the healthy because Mcron is actually quite different in that regard, and we shouldn't overlook it. So you typically pay to flips. You have to worry about whether the opponent, how many healthy opponents are on the point. Mcron is really different, so be careful. Mcron is any enemy character. It could be injured, and it's still, you have to roll 1 more than those characters that are on the point. I mean, I don't think it changes the strategy that we were just talking about, but it just makes it perhaps a little bit of a harder pay to flip to happen because your opponent can have any number of characters. It doesn't matter whether they're healthy or injured or not on that point. So yeah, it just makes it a little bit harder as a pay to flip. But otherwise, I think Guardians is not saying it's bad, but like I'm trying to think what affiliation may want this one slightly more. I mean, I guess it's like which affiliation has pay to flip characters that don't have good physical defense. I don't know. That sounds really niche.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you like Mutant Madmen, you like this too. I think they're similar enough.
Okay.
Because they're pretty similar shapes, right? It's basically a B shape, but it's slightly closer together. So I think, if you're taking Mutant Madmen, you should take this as well. It's kind of that simple. And yeah, like we said before, pay to flips don't need to be just X-Men. I think Spider Foes love this as well. And yeah, any kind of mobile, crisis-y team that doesn't have much displacement this is good for you.
Yeah. So the diving works the same way here, doesn't it? In other words, you can dive your opponent's points, but no different than B's or what's the other letter? G.
Yeah, exactly. And doing so is great on this, by the way, because you can Iceman. Oh, let's talk about Iceman. He's a medium-based medium move. So I will often double move him to my opponent's secure, try and flip it, and I just need one success because there's no one there. And then they now need to get onto that secure and flip over him. So they now need 2 successes. So I've made it harder for them to flip their own home point. And the reason why I'm so excited about Iceman is in order for them to do that, they have to end the movement within 2 of him, which then gives them slow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And actually, on a crisis like this, slow is absolutely crippling because to win on these, you need to be able to move between the points and flip them loads. So if Iceman, often I'll do that, and Iceman will swiftly die. But he's given out slow to 2 or 3 characters, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's really good. So Apocalypse would be good too, right? He farts out slows amongst other conditions.
Yeah, I've always been really bad with toilet humor. I've always hated toilet humor, and every Apocalypse player makes that joke, and it's really getting on my nerves.
But it's so evocative.
It's not. Apocalypse, it's such a well-designed affiliation. It's so cool and thematic, and it's like Pestilence. I'm like, yeah, Pestilence, the Horseman of Pestilence. That's really cool. And it reminds me of the from first to last song, Ride the Wings of Pestilence. I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, Colossus is going to go fart on all your guys and give them all slow. I hate it. Stop making that joke.
Even the Podfather makes that joke on the table. You know,
every Apocalypse player, I roll my eyes when they do it. But that's me. I'm aware that I'm weird and I don't like toilet humor, which for a tabletop gamer is real weird. I guess I'm the minority for that one.
Doesn't like pets, doesn't like fart jokes.
I'm fine with pets.
Are you even a gamer?
I'm fine with pets and I'm fine with box numbers in MCP, all right? I'm coming around to it.
We haven't had... You had to bring up box numbers. There's no box number episode, and you had to bring it up.
Yeah, I'm not... yeah, okay.
In fact, what is the War Kings box number, now that you mention it?
War Kings box number, yeah, let's find out. If you click on that box number on Jarvis, does it come up with all the crisis cards in it?
It does. Yeah, look at that.
Cool.
Yeah,
there you go.
cool.
Including the ones that aren't legal, so be careful with that.
Oh yeah, there's 2 that are not legal, so definitely don't do that. CA 13, Canada 13.
Nice.
Is Guardian from is Gladiator from Canada?
Hell no, he's from space.
Oh, Canada's really might as well be in outer space, right? They're so far away from anything.
His name. I want to see if he's got a Canadian name. No, his name's Calark. There's nothing Canadian about him.
Calark, that's a Quebecois name, sir.
Okay. All right,
come on. Those people up there are named that quite often, as a matter of fact. So,
okay, fine.
I know what you're talking about. There was a famous maple syrup farmer named that. So,
cool. There you go. I don't know much about Canadian maple syrup history. Anyway, before we offend anyone else, what's next?
The last secure is an F1, which is a very interesting one. It's quite different than all the others in many respects. So this one is, first of all, you think of it as let me name it first. It's the Superpowered Scoundrels Form Sinister Syndicate. It is 20 threat. It's got 5 points. That's one of the big deals about it. So it has an odd number of scoring potential to it, which means that if you're a scoring team, it can kind of get you up and ahead of your opponent a little bit. Also, it dissuades long-range shooting because you get cover automatically if you're on a point that your attacker is not also on. Mm-hmm. Okay, so of course there's a lot of characters that ignore cover, like bloody Sam Wilson. Oh, he's the worst on this.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
So you got to be careful about that. But in many cases, you're not going to get shot off the table very easily. But let's talk about the shape. So you have to think of it as a square box in the first instance. So it's got the same 4 points like we've been talking about in the last few crises. These points are 5 from the edge, which means that they are... let's see, which one is this similar to? It is similar to... Oh gosh, it's not similar to any of them. They're all different. This is another different kind of box. So for comparison, the Infinity Formula B is 4 from the edge, whereas the F shape is 5 from the edge. So 2 inches further in. So they're relatively close together, not the closest, but relatively close together. But then there's the fifth point. The fifth point is dead center in the board, so like equal distance from the top, north, south, and east, west. That leads to quite a bit of different dynamic. And I would say that this one, although is very much a scenario for scoring teams that they like, at the same time, those scoring teams can be attacked quite easily from one point to the next, provided that you are not bothered by the cover so much.
Yeah. I think this is the most, actually, maybe Riots. Riots, the one where you can jump around healing yourself, is maybe the most Crisis secure. I think this is the second most favored secure for Crisis teams. I think it's so heavily stacked for Crisis teams because of the extra defensiveness you get for being on those points. You could jump around the points really easily. You can basically run away from someone attacking you and still be scoring a point. You can kind of get to the other side of the board and, you know, be on a secure still. So I actually think that, yeah, this, you're really struggling in this if you're an attrition team. You have to go so hard so early.
Yeah, and that cover is such a bear to deal with.
Yeah, it's a big deal. You need a lot of charge models to get onto the secures and hit them, so they don't get cover. You know, that helps. I'm also, let's take a quick jog over to Jamie's measurement corner as well.
Oh yeah.
It's worth mentioning that if you deploy a small base model bang in the middle of your deployment that can move long, they can double move to any secure in the game. Anywhere. So what you normally see on superpower scoundrels is Kingpin-led criminals, and you'll have a black cat deployed bang in the middle, and that's because they're waiting for you to put all your models on your home points, and as soon as you have a secure that only has one model on it, Black Cat will move twice and stand next to them, because under Kingpin she counts as 2 for scoring that secure, and that's hers now. And this is absolutely backbreaking. If you don't know that that's well, even if you do know it's happening, I know it's happening, I don't really know what to do against it. You have to just kill things real quick and just you know, assume that they're going to go up on points really early. So yeah, this is Kingpin's home turf, basically. I think you play a lot of Kingpin, right? What do you think?
Yeah, lately I've been moving into the Criminal Syndicate, mostly for Shadowland, Daredevil, Mephisto, but also with the Kingpin pivot because of things like this. And what other thing, and that's a very good observation, Jamie. Thank you for contributing that. But also, what I learned, people always say Kingpin's good on this, Kingpin's good on this. But you know why? Is he and the characters can pivot from one point to another. So the idea is that you need to kind of move them. If you've got now multiple healthy characters, opponents on your point, the idea is to move to another one that's not as well secured, or you help kind of gang up on one so that you can start using that leadership again. I didn't realize that, or what happened was I was trying to do that, but I also played an extract that made all my characters slow. Which is I forget the name of it right now.
Calluses,
or it was or the senators where you can only move once.
Yeah,
okay, when you're holding one, and it completely kind of neutered some of the advantage that Kingpin had there. So that was a bit of a lesson for me, but that's for another episode.
I mean, I guess that shows you that movement's really strong on this, because moving around, rotating is really good.
Rotating is where it's at if you're trying to be scoring on this. So something to be careful about depending on what the extract is on top of that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that in mind as well, it means there's less of a concept. If a team has brought this along, they're ready to dive your points. And I think there's less of a concept of like home points in this one. Because if they haven't dived your back home points round 1, they're planning on doing it round 2. Because they're going to, I mean, Web Warriors take this as well. And it being 23 threat is the best threat for Crisis teams, because they get as many bodies as they can on the board, and it doesn't matter if your attrition's going well, because you can't kill all of them, and you won't. They'll score out, before. Well, they hope to score out before you get a chance to. So yeah, be aware of that. I think if you go against Web Warriors or Kingpin, or any team like that, you need to bring the punchiest characters you have in your roster. You have to kill people because they're just going to displace them. Sorry, but they're just going to run away, onto other points. This is the absolute opposite of intrusions, which we went over in part 1, where you can't escape. This one you definitely can escape. It's not quite as far away as a D map, but double moving to a different point and having cover on that point just makes people really hard to catch up with.
And in this case, Jamie, if we're in your measurement corner, can you be outside of the diamond shape, or whatever you want to call this? Not diamond, I don't know. The
It's
5
like
points.
it's a 5 like on a dice, right?
Yeah, 5 points on a die. Can you be outside of the box, so to speak, and still get around?
I am going to find out. You can definitely
Okay.
double move to places.
Yep.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about something while I quickly measure?
Yeah, sure. You do that, and I will share about our big event that we have coming up.
Oh.
So, what we found it already? Oh, okay.
No, I was reacting to the big event.
The Across the Bifrost is putting on a team tournament next year, January 11th through 12th, in the west side of London at Darksphere. Very, very easy to get to. Also, at that time of year, the hotels are extremely cheap. There's one literally above the venue called Ibis, I think, that you can stay in, but there's loads of other options in the near walking area. And we are doing team tournament, 5-person teams, and you can't duplicate characters across those 5 people, but you can double up on crises and tactics. So there's no restrictions there. And it is one of the most fun types of tournaments that you can play in because you have a team of friends that are going to be there. You'll be discussing about rosters the whole way there. You'll be discussing about tactics. On the day, you'll be trying to cheer each other on. And if you lose, it isn't the end of the world because you need just 3 wins out of the 5 to actually progress.
We tweaked the rules, didn't we? So the second tiebreaker is how many games you won, like your team won. So even if your team loses 4-1, your game that you won still matters in the grand scheme of things. You know, it could be a tiebreaker for later on.
Yeah. So super fun. Go to the Across the Bifrost Discord. We have a channel for the ATB Team Championship where you can get information about this and chat about it. Or you can go on Longshanks and Longshanks, look for ATB or Across the Bifrost Team Championship and find the event. And you can get a link to the rules document from that page. Did you find out your measurements?
I did. So if you are outside of the box, you cannot single move, not even Abomination, maybe not even Namor. Let me find out. Maybe Namor can, hang on. But yeah, if you're outside the box, you cannot move to other points in one single move, basically. I think Namor, Amazing Spider-Man, Angela, those are the fastest characters in the game. They kind of can, but literally everyone else, you have to be inside the box to be able to move once to other points. The corners of the box, you still have to move twice to if you're a small base medium move. So yeah, bear that in mind. Place all of your characters on the inside of the box and throw all of your enemies outside of the box.
Yeah, good point. That's right. Not only get them off the point, but get them in a place that punishes them further on in the game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, where can people talk to us and also become a Patreon? This was, by the way, I should have mentioned, is a Patreon suggested topic that we're doing. Yes. So thank you to our Patreons.
Yes, thank you very much. So you can become a Patreon by going to Patreon. The link to our Patreon is in the description. It's only a handful of pounds a month, and it goes to me, Norbert, and Hannah, who is editing all of our stuff, mostly cutting out all of Norbert's highly inappropriate jokes. The best jokes, yeah, sure.
All the fart jokes that you don't like.
All it was all
Whoa.
See,
Hey.
you made me swear because you're talking about taking the toilet humor jokes. I've gone 15 episodes about swearing, and you make a fart joke, and it sets me off. I hate toilet humor. Anyway, yes, you can also join our Discord. There's a link to that in the description somewhere, and you can come tell us your favorite fart jokes on Discord, I guess. I'll just mute the Discord for that day. Yes, so come and chat to us. Let us know what you think. And also, let us know if this episode was useful. We sort of tend not to go too deep into strategy and tactics on this podcast, right? We kind of just touch it a little bit, but people wanted to, get a bit of advice with these new crisis cards. So let us know if it was helpful or not, and, what else you want to hear.
Let me just add that, although what you said is true about our regular episodes, the Patreon episodes are all sweaty ones.
Yeah. When I say sweaty. We, I meant me and you. We are not good enough at this game to give tactical advice, but the Patreon people, the guests we get on there, they're all event winners. So yeah, they're the ones to listen to. We're merely moist. We're not really sweaty. Yes, just clammy.
Clammy. There you go. We're clammy players. That's so good. All right, everyone. Until next time, cheers and happy gaming.